Yo, welcome back to another episode of Nothing Agreed, back with the same boys as usual. Week 2 is finally in the books. We have more formation and a foundation for all 32 teams, the NFL. Barron Burns, how are we feeling?
This is a pretty crazy week 2, I'm not going to lie.
It feels like it's kind of already going fast, at least to me.
I mean, for the most part, I wouldn't say fast, really.
I feel like it's going to be week 5 and we're going to be like, okay, it's already like 4 games in. Like, dang, we're already a quarter of the way through.
That might not be because the NFL season's flying by. That might be something else is flying by. But anyway, we're here, week 2 review. Do you just want to jump right into it? Anything you want to talk about?
Well, first I want to say congratulations to Adrian Wojnarowski on his amazing retirement.
That's true.
As we know, we do NBA as well, and so for him to be out of the game, I told y'all Shams is king, and he reigns supreme today, baby. But nah, seriously, congrats to retirement for him. Can't believe he's taking a GM job.
Yeah,
that's crazy to think about.
For a college?
St. Bonaventure.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Had GMs.
Me neither. I feel like there's no reason to have a GM.
Well, I figured.
Oh, let's trade this guy.
Well, to me, I always thought in college that, at least in the modern day of college with NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff, the head coach acts more like the GM of a team, and then the athletic director's like the general manager.
Yep.
So, the general manager. So it's a little like, I don't know. It's kind of strange. Yeah, I've never heard of a general manager in college sports. So kudos to him. Congratulations, like Brooks said. But let's talk some football now.
Let's talk some football, baby. So let's get right into Thursday night football.
Last week's
Thursday night football, of course, when we had the Bills absolutely squash, I would say the right word, the Dolphins absolutely just run away with it immediately. 7-7 at the end of the first quarter, but the second quarter was all Bills. Third quarter was all Bills. And unfortunately,
the Dolphins didn't score in the second half.
Yeah, they didn't. Unfortunately, we saw Tua go down.
Yeah.
With his injury. So prayers up to Tua. Do you think he should retire?
I mean, I'm not a medical professional. I don't see his medical reports. I don't know how severe his injuries are. The only input I have is just watching him get hit on the field. And just based on that alone, I would encourage it. But again, I'm not in that room with him, seeing all those reports, hearing what the doctors are telling him. So I don't want to tell him to like give up on his career or his lifelong dream.
Yeah, exactly.
If there are ways to continue on playing in the NFL, but if there isn't, then it sucks.
Maybe he should try a Guardian cap.
I'm so serious. Why doesn't he not wear one?
Yeah, I mean,
out of every player in the NFL, he should be at the top of the list to wear one.
Yeah, I think he should be not enforced, but like.
No, I think he should be forced.
Forced. I was not gonna say not enforced, but required to wear a Guardian cap.
I think Mike McDaniel needs to sit down with him and be like, you have to wear this.
Now he's with the neurologist and stuff like that. So, but unfortunately,
someone needs to tell him he needs to wear that.
James Cook had himself a day.
Yes, he did.
3 touchdowns on the day. I know he had one straight up the gut, 50-something yards. He had that dump-off pass. He went around for the first touchdown of the game. Had 3 on the day. How about James Cook finally exploding in that offense?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was something that a lot of Bills fans wanted, and it feels like sometimes he's in the loop, sometimes he's out of the loop. This was a game where he was definitely the loop. He was in the loop. And the Bills, Josh Allen, looks like he's going to be in that MVP conversation when it comes around if he plays like this.
Yeah, he looked good. I'll credit Josh Allen. I don't really have any criticisms from him. I can't really say anything about the game. I mean, I don't want to start bashing too about his game performance after what happened, but he didn't play great prior to his injury.
I started him in fantasy.
I did too.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill didn't have a great game. A-Chain had a pretty good game, I'd say, but outside of that, no other Dolphins player really stepped up to me.
True.
And again, Tua got hurt. It sucks, and that's what everyone's going to remember about that game. So credit to the Bills. Dolphins got some work to do if they want to continue this.
I agree. 1-1. Skylar Thompson stepping in. So let's see what the Dolphins can do. I know they're playing at Seattle, I think it is, next week. So good luck to them. Long trip for them. I think that's the longest trip in the NFL you can make. So they got a long trip on their hands. Let's get into Sunday. Do you have anything else to say about Thursday?
No.
Sunday, let's talk about some of the key games. The New Orleans Saints continue to be the best team in the NFL. Go into Jerry World, as we both picked the Cowboys. Go into Jerry World and absolutely dominate the Cowboys. Derek Carr, leader of MVP conversation?
He is right now.
Leader of MVP conversation. Alvin Kamara played like Christmas Kamara. The New Orleans Saints, man, what about their offense? What about it?
It's awesome.
I mean, looking at Rashid Shaheed, they have a deep threat right there. Olave hasn't even been a thing this year.
Not really.
He's not even been a thing. Kamara's doing it. The defense is still the New Orleans defense that I have grown up watching. So, do you think the New Orleans Saints right now are the best team in the NFL? Let's say give them 2 more weeks. Do you think in 2 more weeks we're still going to be saying New Orleans Saints?
I don't think so in 2 weeks. Again, for week 1, they played the Carolina Panthers.
True.
Let's be fair there. Week 2, great win. I'm not going to take anything away from that.
No, you can't take away from that.
I loved it. I loved watching it.
I know you love watching it.
Made my Sunday. But yeah, no, to go into Jerryland and beat the Cowboys in their home opener is remarkable job by the coaching staff, the players, just being prepared for that hostile environment, getting everyone ready to go play there. I think it really showed. I think they wanted that game more. The Cowboys just seem to have this thing where I don't know if this is actually what happens, but to me, it seems like they just think they're better than a team, and then they play down to that team, whatever they think that team's level is.
It feels like it's been like that for years
and
now.
that team kills them at home.
Yeah, it feels like it's been like that.
It's usually a game like this that happens every year for the Cowboys. They usually lose a home game pretty early in the season, and then they go undefeated the rest of their home games.
Well, they were undefeated last year at home.
Were they?
Yeah.
I thought they lost one.
They lost in the playoffs.
I thought they lost one, like this situation. They
were undefeated at home.
Okay. Well,
credit to them. I understand totally. Like, I do agree that the Cowboys always drop a game early that they should not lose.
Yes.
For example, last year was the Cardinals. They were 13.5-point favorites because that was my Survivor pick, and they lose it.
Well,
right.
To be fair, Brooks, this was the week of upsets.
It was. But that was last year I was talking about. But this was. For us, I'm going to say this right now, we did not hit our dog of the days. For it being such an upset week, nobody hit their dog of the day.
Remarkable.
I think we're the only 2 games that probably survived the dog of the day.
We picked the 2 ones we thought were the safest, and they were not the safest.
True. Let's move next. I think we should talk about this game, the Bucs and the Lions.
Probably
going into Detroit.
Probably the biggest game of that slate, I would say so.
Going into Detroit, Baker Mayfield had that big move to get that running touchdown. Passing touchdown as well. Bucs coming as 7.5-point underdogs, 2-0. The Bake Show. For more
NFC South showdown
this is gonna sound like that Russell Westbrook question where he's like, "What?" But I want to ask it. Was this more of a Buccaneers coming out making a statement, or is it more of a Lions came out and kind of didn't do what they were supposed to do?
See, I don't think the Lions played that bad. Amon-Ra had a great game. He was very quiet week 1. Jameson Williams had a quiet game. Gibbs and Montgomery were doing fine rushing. They both got touches, were very productive. And Goff, besides from turnovers, I mean, he threw for over 300 yards.
A rarity in week 1.
No touchdowns. That's probably an issue. But no, I really think it is the Buccaneers just saying, "Hey, we're a legitimate team in the NFC. We're in a weak division. Well, maybe not anymore.
Yeah.
But we are been at least in the past few years, we've been in a weak division. We have what we believe is the best roster in that division, and we're gonna go out and we're gonna play like it. This is a team that went to the NFC divisional round last year. This is a team that everyone kind of gave up on when Tom Brady retired.
They went, not only did they go to the divisional, but I feel like this Lions game they went to and they lost was a little more interesting, you know? So it's a little more than just losing division.
Got their revenge this week. I think Baker Mayfield looks great. I know he's also right up there with Derek Carr and top QBs of the season so far conversations.
I definitely disagree with you on the Buccaneers win. I feel like there was some drives of the Lions like, look, that was a bad decision made by Goff. Like 2 interceptions, right?
Yeah.
Like, that was a bad play call. I think the Lions should have won this game, in my opinion.
To me, if there's like 2 or 3 plays where a team makes a mistake, like what you mentioned, that's just getting outplayed. That's just my
Interesting.
opinion. What it would take from me to say the
Philosophy.
Lions beat themselves. We'll talk about a team that beats themselves later, but for the Lions to beat themselves, it was they were doing most everything right throughout the game. There were a few moments where they messed up, made some mistakes, and I do think the Buccaneers took advantage of that. But I think the Buccaneers were the better team on Sunday.
Oh wow. Okay. Well, I think the Lions definitely played well, but they didn't execute when they needed to execute, and I think that was more on the offense than defense. I think there were some errors that definitely could have been solved, but I see definitely the point you could be making. But
And shout out to Aiden Hutchinson, 5 sacks.
yeah, honestly, he had himself a game in a losing effort.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna go over three 1 o'clock games I want to talk about, which is Commanders Giants, which was all Commanders field goals to win them 21-18.
Yeah,
7 for 7 on the day.
That was hilarious.
I think Giants scored 3 touchdowns too.
They did, and
First team in NFL history.
and they didn't convert a single 2-point conversion.
Yeah. Chargers went into Carolina. Blew out the Panthers.
Mopped the floor with them.
But we can talk about that for half a second. Bryce Young benched. Agree or disagree?
I disagree.
I disagree.
I think if you're the Panthers, you have to trade him.
Let me say something right now. Ready? I think Bryce Young could be a Dolphin. If Tua retires, why not?
Yeah, I don't hate that. My theory is, stay with me now.
Oh gosh, let's listen to this one.
Stay with
All
me
right,
now.
everyone, stay with this one.
Stay with me now, right? Now we know Aaron Rodgers is getting old, right?
Oh my gosh, dude.
And there have been some rumors that the Jets are trying to look for a quarterback in the late first round, early day 2, to like pick up a guy they want to sit behind for a year or maybe 2, Aaron Rodgers, and then take the start, kind of like what Jordan Love did with Aaron Rodgers. I don't think Bryce Young's a bad candidate for that.
It's not a horrible candidate. It just matters what you give up.
That's what
right?
I'm saying. And I think if you're the Jets, and I think you could get the Panthers to give him away for a 4th round, maybe 5th round.
Oh, wow.
It is the Panthers. They're not that smart. They might just give him away for a 7th.
Yeah,
if we're
Tepper will give
honest.
him up for a bag of chips and
just to get him
$10
out of
on
the
restaurant.
city, so he doesn't have to hear.
You
about
give him for a
him
bag of
anymore.
chips and getting rid of that CCTV video of that restaurant.
Yeah. So I like the idea of the Dolphins
I think
making
it's a good idea.
change. I like the Jets maybe trying to secure their future now instead of waiting for the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do still think Bryce Young has potential to be successful on an NFL team. He's not one of those, and this is what sucks for him, right? He's one of those quarterbacks that when you put him in a above average situation, he's going to make that offense look good. But when you insert him into a shit show, which is essentially what's happening in Carolina right now,
It is a shit show.
he's just going to make it worse. He's not athletic, and he's not good enough as a quarterback to make all these bad players around him excel. He's not LeBron James. Shout out Cleveland Cavaliers.
What was that? Shout out Cleveland Cavaliers.
You know that team. Those teams were terrible. I mean, you saw the most recent. I don't know if this is recent, but that Larry Bird quote when he was the Pacers GM and why he would never trade for players on the Cavs. And he goes, "You guys don't get it. LeBron's making those guys look way better than they really are."
Crazy.
So
That's true.
I do think Bryce, but when you put him in an offense like the Dolphins or the Jets, I think he will look significantly better.
I don't know about the
and
Jets,
be
man.
significantly
Dolphins,
better.
when you got Tyreek, Jalen
What's wrong
Waddle,
with Garrett Wilson?
Garrett Wilson, and
Brees Hall.
Alan Lazard.
Brees Hall.
I mean, Brees Hall's an but
But that
even
also
with Aaron Rodgers, I feel like they could be much better than what
okay.
they're
But
doing.
if they also went and traded for Bryce Young, that's a draft pick they can use on finding him another weapon instead of getting or taking a shot on like some second round quarterback this year. You
That
see
makes
what I'm
sense.
saying?
Yeah.
I'm as an organization, that's what I would
see.
do.
But I guess we're gonna glance over then.
Quickly, a few more 1 o'clocks.
Trevor. I think we should talk about Trevor Bank just for half a second.
Yeah.
The Jags are 0-2. I did say the Browns were gonna win that one. They're plus 3 underdog, but of course I didn't pick it.
Did I take the Browns? I can't
No, you
remember.
took the Jags.
Yeah, I feel like I did.
You did take the Jags. I remember.
I think I did.
Yeah. No passing touchdowns there for Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
I think we could glance over the Seahawks game if you want. It went to OT.
Yeah,
I didn't watch it
Seahawks,
much, so.
Seahawks, Jets.
Or Patriots.
Well, no, I'm talking about the Jets and the Seahawks. They won their respective games against some bad teams. Last 1 o'clock game, I would like to talk. And Packers. Shout out Malik Willis got a W with it.
There's 2 more games.
we'll get to that part later. But this is the last one at least I want to talk about. Let me see if I'm. Oh no, there are two more. All right, sorry.
Yeah. You want to talk about the Vikings?
Yeah,
Probably?
Vikings 49ers.
Vikings, baby. Justin Jefferson, 97-yard touchdown.
And then got
Sam
injured.
Darnold is 2-0, ladies and gentlemen, as the Vikings quarterback.
He's
when
right up there
everyone
with Derek Carr and Baker Mayfield.
he is, which is crazy
what
to say.
What a world.
What a world. What a wonderful world.
All right, let's calm down.
All right.
Joy Mason had another good game.
100 yards, got the bonus.
Yep. Outside of that, I mean, looking at the stats, you would think Brock Purdy had a pretty good game, but if you watch the game,
He had a QBR of 46.5.
he did not have a good game. Actually, well, yeah, I
I
can't
want to
see
shout out Ty Chandler.
Oh, yeah. Dog.
For he averaged like 8 yards a carry. He was doing his thing on the ground. Let's just say that. Had a 25-yard run, and I mean, other than Justin Jefferson, the receiving game, Jalen Naylor went and played well. Aaron Jones got 36 out of the backfield. It was all around. Meanwhile, the 49ers now are missing Debo and CMC.
I was just about to say, I know we're going to do something on this with other teams here in a minute, but is it time to worry for the 49ers?
My opinion, no. Not even close.
Well, let's think about it, right?
Yep.
You have Brandon Ayuk, who got paid, great, has not
for
played
him.
well since.
Okay.
I don't think he
In
has
2 games, yeah.
But I don't think he has over 100 receiving yards on the season yet.
It's okay. It's been 2 games.
Not when you're.
He's now wide receiver 1.
He's always been wide receiver 1. What are you talking about?
True, but they have Debo, so it's like
No, I get that. But,
now it's like an elevated.
but he's still the X receiver.
I guess so. The X receiver.
No,
I like
he hasn't been playing well since he got paid.
Yep.
Um,
Kittle's been playing well.
Kittle has been playing well. I'll give credit to George Kittle,
I
but
think Jawan Jennings is sneaky.
yeah, he is. He is also sneaky.
He's very sneaky.
But
But
you're missing, like we said, you're missing Christian McCaffrey. You're missing Debo
1.1
Samuel.
ADP.
Arguably the 2 best playmakers on their team. You just came off this loss against the Vikings. Granted, they haven't won in Minnesota in like 6 years.
Yeah,
Which is kind of surprising, honestly. Well, I wonder what the stats show there. Anyway, you have Brock Purdy, who's past couple years been playing great. He's on a contract year.
Yep.
And he's probably trying to play for another team to give him big money because we know the 49ers won't.
Yeah, he's going to have to get some big money somewhere.
So he's trying to impress all these other teams. So he might have a good season, but he didn't, like you said, he did not have a good game.
Nope.
And I don't want to credit this to just Brandon Ayuk, or not Brandon Ayuk, Christian
He
McCaffrey
also got
being
sacked
out.
6 times.
That's what I'm saying. The offensive line doesn't look as good. Trent Williams is getting up there in age. The rest of them I don't know the rest of their names, but the rest of them are getting up there in age.
Damn, just bummed them.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, yes, you're letting Brock Purdy get sacked 6 times to the Minnesota Vikings, who, granted, they have a pretty good pass rush. I won't take that away from them. But then isn't Dallas Turner, their rookie edge rusher, out? Didn't he get injured?
Yeah, he got hurt, I think.
So is it just not even Daniil
yeah,
Hunter?
he's questionable.
They traded him.
No, Daniil Hunter's on the Texans.
Yeah, so who do they have coming off the edge this game?
Blake Cashman got a sack and 13 tackles. Pat Jones II got 2 sacks. Van Ginkel got a sack.
Yeah.
Jonathan Grenard got a sack. Yeah. There you go.
So you're having
And this has team got a sack.
Nice. So yeah, no, don't want to take any credit away from those guys, but these aren't like high tier pass rushers in this that were playing you this game. And to allow 6 sacks, that's worrisome if you're an offensive line
True.
coach.
Also, if you had a quarterback who threw a pick this game and have the tackle rule, shout out to you, probably won your fantasy game because both Purdy and Darnold got a tackle on their interception.
Oh, nice.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I've seen that. I don't know how many people actually play with that. But
My friend does, and he lost because the dude had Darnold.
it sucks. But yeah, again, it might be it is probably still too early, but let's say Samuel and McCaffrey miss significant time, and
They will.
This team they're playing like this. Let's say they come back and they're sitting at like 6-4, or it'd probably be super late, but like 4-2 or 4-3 when they come back. I mean, NFC's not super strong, so we'll just have to see. But
I am never gonna hit the panic button with the Niners. They got at the Rams, which I think will be a pseudo home game for them.
Yeah.
Versus the Patriots at home, that should be a win. Versus the Cardinals at home, I think that should be a win as well. Even though the Cardinals did look great last week, I think that should be a win.
We'll get to them in a minute.
At Seattle could be tough, but let's say you miss them for the next 4 games, right? You miss those because McCaffrey's going to miss around the first 6 weeks. They come back against the Chiefs. I'm fine with that. You got Chiefs, Cowboys, Bucks. Those are good teams. I'm good with that. If they can miss those 4 games and they can 3-3 or 4-2, I'm not hitting the panic button.
I'm not hitting it right now, but I'm more worried about them than I would say these other.
If they're
1-0.
losing, if they have a losing record by week 7, then I'll be concerned. If they're not losing record, week 6.
If they ever have a losing record, you should be concerned.
No, because their schedule gets tough.
Not this early in the season.
Yeah, but late in the season.
That's what I'm saying. Like if they lose next week, then are you concerned?
No.
I'd be. That's when I'd hit it.
I'm not concerned.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm not concerned.
But I'll say this. I don't feel as confident as I do in this team as I would in, say, some of these other NFC teams that
True.
I want to know.
Let's get to the last 1 o'clock game.
Yes.
Which is the 10-point blown lead by the Ravens.
Yep.
To Gardner Minshew, who came out after the confidence we saw. If anybody saw the video of Crosby hyping him up after his interception, good for him. Crosby's one of those dudes that like you don't want to play against, but you always want on your team.
Yeah.
That's what I want to say. Good for them. Minshew came out
he had a
dealing.
great game.
Devontae Adams had himself a game, particularly in the second half. Felt like he was hauling and everything. And the Ravens lose this one. They're now 0-2.
Yep.
The Raiders, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, 1-1. Are you impressed with what Minshew did to bounce back from the first to the second like that?
I mean, I'll give him credit regardless because that's a team that everyone considered to be one of the best in the AFC coming into the season.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a guy that everyone wrote off. He's a backup quarterback. He's a bridge quarterback. Yeah. And then, to come in, and this was in Baltimore too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So, to go into Baltimore, not have a great first half, and then to come back and secure that game late, that's huge for any quarterback's confidence.
That is true.
Team's confidence.
Yep.
Like you said, Devontae Adams, huge game. I know he was getting kind of frustrated last game.
Dialed in.
He was getting frustrated last game because he was creating separation. Minshew couldn't find him, so it's good to see that he was able to find him this game.
Bro was dialed in. I mean, it was like he had that one pass, like 20 yards to the left sideline. He just hauled. I'm like, all right, yeah, GG's. He had one over the middle. He got like 15 or 20 yards on a long second down. He had the touchdown catch.
Let's say, but you want to talk? You were saying earlier about a team that kind of beat themselves. That was the Ravens.
The Ravens beat themselves.
The Ravens beat themselves because I'm so serious. Those last 3 drives they had, I could feel in my heart that nothing was going to happen.
Me too. It was like the play calling was the worst.
They weren't moving at all. Lamar Jackson didn't look confident at all in the pocket. He was always running for his life, just to get to the outsides.
That was my survivor too.
Max Crosby found him. So you want to talk about a team that beat themselves this week was the Ravens.
Baltimore Ravens. I totally agree.
Definitely the Ravens.
The 4 o'clock games. I think let's just brush over the Steelers. Great defense.
Yeah, Cardinals got some work. Got some work to do.
Broncos.
Yeah, I mean they're going with Bo Nix, a rookie quarterback.
You said Cardinals.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I was like, hold up.
Sorry. But yeah,
wait a second.
Bo Nix is still a rookie who was taken late. Most people didn't even think he'd play this year.
True.
He looks fine.
He has moments.
I'm not willing to give up on him yet.
No, it's been 2 weeks. He has moments, right?
I'm letting him ride. He's fine.
Oh yeah,
he's fine.
Bo Nix country.
There's nothing let me put it this way.
Right.
There's nothing that Bo Nix hasn't done that Caleb Williams has.
I totally agree.
Or there's nothing Caleb Williams hasn't
done.
No,
I totally agree.
Bo Nix has.
I was gonna bring that up in Sunday Night Football, but I totally agree with that.
We'll get there in a minute.
But I think this should be the Steelers' defense impresses once again.
Yep. Best defense in the league.
Let's move to the Cardinals and the Rams. I don't think we need to touch about this too much. It's just a beat down by the Cardinals.
Marvin
the Rams.
Harrison Jr.'s breakout
game. Yeah, Marvin Harrison Jr.'s breakout game.
Kyler Murray had 3 incompletions that game. 4.
All to Marvin Harrison.
That's right.
Which is
226 passing yards and 3 touchdowns. James Conner,
266,
122 yards and 1
Conner blew it up. Harrison had 4 catches, but hit over the 100 yards with those 2 touchdowns.
Good home statement for the
Cardinals. And
the
Cardinals, the sea of red. Come the sea of victory.
That's good. So, no, they needed a bounce back.
There you go.
They were kind of written off after D-Hop left and that whole you remember back in 2020 their little super team when the Rams
I mean they had struggling years. Last year they had 4 wins.
Yeah.
So 4 or 5 wins. I think they had 4. So yeah, they are definitely a team that's not there. They also had Kyler Murray was out.
That's true.
But still they had 4 wins last year. So this is a team that is not like the playoff contenders that have stayed there. Okay.
Mm-mm.
This is a great win for them. almost double-digit scoring every quarter except for the fourth when the game was out of reach. So when they only scored 7, which is a good quarter for any team. So, but let's get to the last 425 game,
Chiefs,
the one
Bengals.
that had the controversy.
Yeah.
Is that a pass interference?
You're not gonna like what I have to say.
I think it is.
It is. I mean, it is pass interference. Granted, if you played any other team besides the Chiefs, that probably doesn't get called.
That's what it feels like, though. That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's the issue.
So my mentality, or what I would be saying in that lock, or to those players and to those coaches, is like, you just can't put yourself like in that position for them to throw it. You have to be perfect.
I
on
saw
that play.
something that was like, this is the 15th straight game the Chiefs have had less penalties than the other team.
Oh yeah, it's probably every game they've played. For being
15 straight.
Yeah,
that's almost every game.
Well, I know.
I mean, that goes back into last season. So, yeah, that's very key. I thought honestly, the Bengals didn't play bad for what they had. The only person I think played bad was Jamar
Chase.
Jamar Chase played bad. Gesicki played really well. Got open.
Yeah, Joe Burrow looked a lot better.
Yeah, Joe Burrow looked better than that hand that everyone was talking about.
He was running for his life a lot.
Yeah.
That offensive line's going to need some work.
And that fumble he had was
bad.
Unfortunate,
Yeah.
Which I think could have cost him the game.
But yeah, everyone's going to talk about that PI call, and it was pass interference. You just you just can't give the refs the opportunity.
The only thing is, like, it is pass interference, but sometimes I feel like they wouldn't call it, you know?
If it was any other team in the league, they wouldn't.
I mean, maybe.
No,
I don't want to say that, but
no.
That's what it feels like. That's what it feels like.
If it was...
I won't make that statement as like a truth claim, but that's what it feels like.
Let's say that play happened in Browns-Jaguars. That's not pass interference.
Yeah, that ain't getting
not at all.
If Deshaun's throwing that shit, yeah, that ain't no pass interference. Matter of fact, it will be another allegation when he throws that ball.
Yeah, even
the league will suspend him.
Even if Trevor Lawrence threw that pass. If it was the Saints-Cowboys, I'd think that
Cowboys would get the call.
No, I seriously don't think that would have been pass interference.
Maybe. I mean, that's what it feels like.
Buccaneers, Lions, no PI. You can make a case for maybe the
We're going down teams that have ref blatantnism now.
You can make a case maybe the 49ers might get that call.
Wow, look at this guy.
You can make a case the Bills might get that call.
Look at this guy.
You could make a case.
All right. The Bills?
Yeah, I think you can make a case.
No.
I think Josh Allen gets some favorable calls.
No.
And honestly,
Mahomes.
if it was any other team that wasn't the Chiefs and roles were reversed, the Bengals might get that call.
You think? Against any other team that isn't
against any other team.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm saying maybe.
Yeah.
The only team I know for
I'm
certain.
not truth claiming.
The only team I know for certain that would get that
the Kansas
call
City Chiefs.
are the Kansas City Chiefs.
So they get the call. They hit. I think Butker's money from almost anywhere.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
he's clutch.
But we can move on.
He drilled it like right on the pan. You know, right on the stove.
Yeah.
You know, it was like he was cooking in the kitchen with that one.
All
right.
Apologize to our female viewers.
Honestly,
we don't have it.
We don't agree with Harrison Butker. That's why we're making fun of him.
All right, Sunday night.
All right, Bears, Texans, take us home. Carry Sunday Night Football on NBC.
What a boring game.
Honestly, I watched it and I was like, I was just interested in Caleb Williams and what trickeration he would pull out.
I fell asleep at halftime. I don't even know what happened.
Really?
No, I didn't watch this game really.
Oh, I watched the entirety of it.
I didn't really. I was barely paying
I
attention.
had money because I had money on DeAndre Swift over receiving yards. Love you, DeAndre Swift. And take Dell touchdown. Boo. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was the Nico Collins show.
It was. It was either him or Tank Dell.
I was there for. I saw him going crazy in the first half. So
he was going crazy.
Yeah, I can't.
Great game for Nico Collins.
I can't say much. I didn't really watch it.
I will say it really felt like the reads from the Bears were sometimes they had a fourth down conversion. I don't know if that was in the first half or the second half to DJ Moore. Where it was like, that's the read, easy slant, got open. Other times it felt like Caleb just needed to go through maybe a little more. Okay. And it just feels like I don't know what it is, but it feels like he just can't make, it just feels like either the Bears receivers aren't getting open or he's not making the right plays. So.
And again, he'll learn. I mean, it's game
I'm not
2.
concerned. It's Caleb. Everyone knows behind it. I think the hype should die down a little bit, because you're with the Bears, so not the franchise to be with. But yeah, I mean, Kyrie Farrenbarron was MVP that game. He was in, I think he was in some good amount of 50-yarders, and Texans got it done at home as they usually do. That was my dog of the day to miss, but They covered the spread. So
That's good.
your team also covered the spread too. 3.5.
Of course they did. Couldn't pull it out.
Couldn't pull it out. Let's move to our last.
Overtime.
Should we move to our last game?
Make it quick.
Should we move to our last game?
We need to move on. Make it quick.
Let's move to our last game. The Philadelphia Eagles choke to of course, everyone knows he's an Eagles fan. I'm a Falcons fan. To the GOAT, Kirk Cousins. Kirk Thuggins, Perk Thuggins. It don't matter what it is.
Whatever.
Falcons in 4. Wow. I want to say this. I had an argument with someone, and I want to bring it up.
Definitely not in 4. If anything, that was in 7.
What
What were you saying?
All right, buddy. I had an argument with someone. I want to bring it to you. 3rd down and 3. Saquon should make that catch. Game's over.
I don't.
Okay.
I like the play call. I don't know why people. I don't know why people are getting mad at Sirianni. That was a good call.
Okay. Do you think he misses that? Right. First of all, you like the play call.
He catches it. Game's over.
Okay. Let's move to 4th down. Do you go for it?
So
You're 4th and 3.
I would probably.
8-yard line.
I would have kicked that field goal.
I
From 4th and 3.
I kicked the field goal.
If they ran it and it was 4th and 1, you know what's coming. But
obviously, that's why I argued that even though Saquon dropped it, they should have ran the ball. Not only do they take 40 seconds off the clock, right? They have no timeouts. But if you get 1.5, 2 yards, you push, and you have a 90% chance of winning the game.
you still had a 98% chance of winning the game when Saquon Barkley's wide open going to the first down. The 2% comes in when he drops the ball.
Well,
so
I get that.
That happens. But no, because I'm still taking the points because I would like to think that my defense can stop an offense from going 70 yards in a minute 30 seconds when they've barely been able to move 15 in like 3 minutes the entire game. But no, just send everyone into prevent, let them attack the corners, and just march on up. Darius Slay, you need to retire, get out of the league. You're terrible. Bryce Huff, you need to get traded. I want Hassan Reddick back. He doesn't do anything. Jalen Hurts had actually a really good game. I don't have anything bad to say about him other than that interception at the end. People are getting mad at him for trying to play hero ball at that moment, but the game was already over. You shouldn't. Again, people are trying to figure out who's to blame for this game, and people on the team are going to say, it was all of us. It was the coaching's fault, all the coaching. No. Saquon Barkley, you did not have a great game. You probably should have made that catch.
After you were literally last week singing to Saquon Barkley, he drops the one.
I will live and I will die by Saquon Barkley. Okay?
Successful Eagles hate watch and Saquon Barkley hate watch.
I am utterly disgusted that our defense let up that last-minute drive. Disgusted.
Dude, when you have Perk Thuggins, you have to take it.
Kirk Cousins in prime time, that should have been two throws.
Whoa. He is 4-1 in his last 5 primetime games.
There's no way that's true.
Yeah, he is. He went 0-9, and now he's like 5-11. He was 4-10, or he's 5-10 going now. He was 4-10 going to the game as primetime. He was 0-9, and then now he's 5-10.
Huh.
Or now he's something like that. But it's either he's 4-1 now, or
this didn't happen last year because he got injured. There's no way that stat's true.
I'll look it up.
I'll look it up
as I speak.
I'll do it later. We will bring it back to you next time, but we'll double check that. There's no way that's right.
You can keep on reading. I will look this up.
All right, he'll look it up. Whatever.
Because we can talk about it right now. But I can speak about the Atlanta Falcons while I type as well with one finger. Okay, so see, he's 12-20 overall.
Mm.
All right. And then is there a way? Hold up.
Time?
Kirk Cousins is now 4-10 on Monday Night Football. Maybe that's what I saw.
Okay.
Yeah. So Kirk Cousins on prime time. I guess we'll see.
We'll get it. We'll get that information to you in next episode.
Last time he played Monday Night Football was Week 7 last season, where he won. Okay. And then we watched him play in Philly primetime Week 2 last season, and then he lost.
I was about to say.
So I guess he went 1-1. So. I don't know. I can look up his stats, but I'm not gonna do that. So
we can do it later.
He's 3-10, and so now he's 4-10. So whatever. Falcons. Bijan Robinson looked really good. I love Bijan. I think honestly, I can make the argument that he's top 3 running back in the NFL. Maybe you can make the argument some people made the best. I won't go there too.
I think people will be saying it by the end of the year.
That he's the best.
Right now, it might be a little early.
Because CMC isn't in.
Yeah.
And I still don't want to take that crown from CMC at all.
No, but like if we're being serious, like so far this season, I'd probably say Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, and then who else?
Bijan?
I'd probably put James Cook before Bijan.
Really? I wouldn't put James Cook. He had one good game. Same with Kamara. Kamara had two good. Well, Kamara, I can put Kamara, but what about
Bijan was
what about Breece Hall?
Maybe him. Well, the thing to me is, again, we're 2 weeks into the season.
Yep.
Bijan Robinson had a great game this week. I won't take that away from him. He's gonna carry my fantasy team, I hope. But he hasn't gotten in the end zone yet.
He has not.
We've got other guys scoring 3 a game.
True.
And he did not have a great game last week. It was okay. Granted,
he had over
Pittsburgh Steelers might have the best defense
but he's
in the league.
had over 100 scrimmage yards each game, which
Yeah.
I think is very important. He's in the pass game and the run game, which I like because they promise you to give a CMC role. So I honestly would take it. I mean, he's got 3.8, which is
it was just
you want to get around 4, and then he had 7 last game.
No, he was just he had way more touches last week. That's
4 more.
a few
Yeah.
more. So I think he's been good.
The Falcons had like a 0.7% chance to win. They come in and they steal Monday night.
Yeah, we know.
So
Everyone knows. All right.
yes, sir, baby.
Let's go ahead and move on.
Let's do our segment of the day.
Okay.
We're gonna call it Hold or Fold. Now, what this segment is going to consist of is we're going to pick a team that's either 2-0 or 0-2, and we're going to say hold, as in we're going to keep their stock, or fold, we're throwing the cards in, or hold the cards and we're going to the flop, or fold and we're throwing them in before everything can happen.
So we'll
basically a buyer step.
Yeah, so we're just going to go in order on this little list here. We have, starting with the AFC East, they have one team. Buffalo Bills are 2-0.
I think we're both going to hold that one, right?
I'm holding it for
I'm
now.
holding it as well.
This is a team, at least in the past 5 years, who's been in the playoffs, top of their division, top of the AFC, have one of the best quarterbacks, good coaching, good coordinators, pretty good defense. Hopefully those offensive playmakers can kind of step up.
I agree.
I could see Josh Allen maybe struggling against better teams.
I want to see Keon Coleman a little more in that offense.
They've played some pretty bad teams, so I don't want to say the Dolphins are bad, but they haven't had that much of like competition to their level yet. And
I think they had a really good comeback against the Cardinals, which really helped with their momentum.
I think they just kind of got caught off guard at first, and then they kind of realized, wait, we're the Buffalo Bills. What are we doing?
Next. Because that was quick.
Yeah, it's fun.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Moving on to the AFC North.
2-0. Hold or fold to make the playoffs.
I don't know if they make the – see, this is the one weird one. I don't know if they make the playoffs, but I'm willing to hold them that they keep their winning record streak.
I am going to fold them.
Okay.
Which I think this is the riskiest one. I think, honestly, with how their offense has been playing, I think their defense cannot outweigh their offense sometimes with how much it's been happening. Mm-hmm. I feel like both those games, wow, if they played a team like the Ravens, I don't think they win that game. If they play a team like the Bengals, because they will in the future, I don't think they win that game.
Play both those teams twice.
Exactly. That's all I'm saying.
And they'll beat probably both those teams at least
at
once.
Home.
No. I mean, they have probably the best defense in football right now.
I'll look at their schedule, right? They got the Chargers. I think they're 2-point favorites there. I think that's an interesting one because the Chargers also have a good defense the last 2 games. They've really impressed. They played the Raiders and Panthers.
We'll get to the Chargers.
But they have Colts, which I think could be interesting. They have the Cowboys, which I think could be interesting. They have those 6 division games, which I think all can be interesting. I'm going to fold on the Steelers. I'm going to fold.
I'm going to fold them going to the playoffs. So
you're both
terms, yeah, but I still do think they keep their winning record streak.
Okay.
Which I think is enough for them.
Houston Texans.
No, we're not there yet. Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, that's right. 0-2 teams.
0-2.
Hold or fold the Ravens. I'm going to hold on to the cards. I'm holding on.
I'm folding.
You're folding. Let's hear why you're. I think a lot more people would actually hold than fold just because of the history of the Ravens. They have Lamar Jackson, who's the last year's MVP. Tell me why you're folding.
Well, this is what's weird to me, and we're also about to get to the Cincinnati Bengals, who could also the same argument be made. But someone's got to win this division.
Yep.
Right. The 2 favorites for it are both 0-2. The last person everyone thought would win it is right now in first place. So this division right here is just kind of
flip-flop.
It's kind of wanky right now.
Wanky is one way to put it.
I like that word.
Wanky.
So again, someone's got to win this division. And looking around the rest of the AFC, there's really good teams in the rest of the AFC. So I think we could see 2 AFC North teams in the playoffs, and I think that would be either the Bengals or the Ravens, like barely making it in. But Lamar Jackson, last week, second half, did not look good. Terrible. No confidence, no accuracy, no like decisiveness. Needs to get better at his decision making in late in games where he's kind of feeling uncomfortable. He's got to get better at that. Receiving for the Ravens, right? Isaiah Likely has been a star so far. Light in the dark, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mark Andrews, I drafted you in fantasy. Why did I do that? Still can't figure it out. You don't play football. Derrick Henry, not the same player. He's still pretty good. I'll give him that. He had that touchdown run. He had that one big run against the Raiders. But last week against the Chiefs, granted, that's the Chiefs. But still, most of this game versus the Raiders doesn't look that good. Looks a little washed. We know that defense is good. I have no doubt about that defense. But they did just let up a lot of points to the Raiders. So now I am a little worried about that defense. To me, this just seems all the early patterns for a team that everyone thought was going to be really good and it's going to kind of crumble. I hope they can turn it around. I like Lamar Jackson a lot. And I think they have the pieces to be good. Just from what I've seen these first 2 weeks, I don't know if they're going to be able to turn it all the way around and win this division. But they are in probably the easiest division to come back from behind and win.
Okay. Cincinnati Bengals, hold or fold?
Kind of the same. I'm going to hold them.
I'm going to hold them as well.
Because I folded the Ravens for the reasoning
I
I
think
just
this
explained.
is the division that is going – I'll save what I'm going to say. But I'm going to hold the Bengals because I think they're missing – especially T. Higgins. I think it's a big part of that offense that's underrated. But I think their schedule, especially coming up, is easy. That will give them momentum. So let me just say my piece real quick. They have the Commanders, the Panthers, the next 2 games. I think they can win both those games, be 2-2, go to the Ravens. I think they'll lose that one. But then they have the Giants again, another bounce-back game. So I think they have good bounce-back games from hard games where either they win those hard games and then they look good, they're feeling confident, or they lose hard games and you got, okay, this is a team that let's knock them off our pedestal and get back in. So
yeah, and like we said, we saw the last 2 years now too. The Bengals lose.
Burrow
early.
always loses the first 2 weeks. It's just part of his identity, and they come back.
Might be time to start a conversation about Joe Burrow.
I'm in the pocket like Burrow.
He might not be that good.
All right, let's go.
AFC South, we got to do all of them.
AFC South and West have 7 out of the 8 teams. So we can fly through this mostly.
Yeah, so
I'm going to fly through real quick. Texans we're holding. Titans, I think we're both folding.
I'm going to fold the Titans.
Folding the Titans.
I'm folding the Jaguars
I'm folding the Jaguars as well. I don't buy the Jags.
I love you, Trevor Lawrence, but you might not be a good
the
NFL quarterback.
Honestly, I tried saying it. I said he's with the money they paid. I think it's an overpay. I got called crazy.
I used to get harassed back in the day when I said that when Trevor Lawrence got drafted. I said, I'm sorry. I just think Deshaun Watson's gonna have a better NFL career.
Well, that's crazy.
I mean, he kind of
because of what's both happened. That's what I'm saying. Not.
Oh yeah, because of his allegations. I mean, if you look at
not his allegations, but just because like both their careers are kind of in a point right now.
And like what Deshaun Watson has done to this point versus what Trevor Lawrence has done is, I'd say, pretty.
Has Deshaun Watson gone to a conference championship?
Yeah. Did he not?
Did he?
I thought he did.
He went to divisional. I don't think he went to a conference though.
When has Trevor Lawrence made a conference?
He hasn't, but he also gone to a divisional.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is I think they've both reached the climax of what they've gone to.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Unless I could be speaking wrong, but I think they've both reached a divisional.
No, I think you're right. I just think I think Watson's he has more records. I think he has from back when he was in Houston. Remember he was breaking all those
true, but
passing and rushing touchdowns.
Times have changed. Times have changed.
Yeah, times have definitely changed. All right, let's
Colts.
move along.
Colts. Hold or fold?
I'm holding them. Okay, you look at this division.
It's so tough.
Okay, but you look at this division. 3 teams are 0-2.
I'm gonna hold them as well.
I like how frisky the AFC South is this year. I think any of these teams really could catch fire and be good at any point. And I like Anthony Richardson. I think the skills and the decision making, it's all there. He has weapons. He has running back. He has an offensive line. He's got a defense. He's got to play a little bit better. I'm not gonna say he's been playing that great. He hasn't, but if he steps it up, I think the Colts can turn it around.
This can be a horrid cold take. They got the Bears at home. I honestly think they win that game. They got the Steelers home. I think they can win that game. They got the Jags away. Honestly, I think they can win that game. They have the Titans away. I think they can win that game. They have the Dolphins at home. No Tua back. I think they can win that game.
See, like that, yeah, that's why I
They're all winnable games. And the 2 games they've lost were the Texans, who I think it's going to be the playoff division winner, but in the playoffs. And they lost to Green Bay in Lambeau, which I think they've won like 8, some crazy amount of number streak at home in Lambeau. And I know they lost to Malik Willis, which is bad, but they had a really bad game.
And Malik Willis looked good.
Yeah, I don't want. Looked good for him stepping up after we saw for like 4 seconds.
But yeah, no, that's what I love about the AFC South. It's just any of those teams could catch fire and be good. So, all right, AFC West, Chargers. Oh boy, someone's not gonna like what I have to say, but I'm folding.
Oh, it's a good one as well. I think to make the playoffs,
I'm folding. Justin Herbert's looked good.
Hold on, I want to see what I've said. So I said the Bills are holding, right? Steelers, I'm folding. Hold Ravens, which is 2 of the. I have to fold them then, because then I've picked the Ravens and I said folded, so they could be my last wild card team, but
no, yeah. Again, Justin Herbert's been pretty good.
They've looked really good the first 2 games. They've looked really good.
Yes, but you also have to remember who they played.
The Panthers
and the Raiders. So
it's too early to speak on the Chargers.
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying.
Their next 2 games, which is Steelers and Chiefs, those are the good ones.
So yeah,
I'm gonna throw the cards in as well, and I think we're both gonna hold the Chiefs, of course.
Yeah, we'll see what the Chargers are made of these next 2 weeks.
True.
This is their test.
Do you want to speak anything about
Denver? Well, just they have.
And Denver, we're both folding because they were QB.
Yeah,
struggling. Yeah, we knew that.
Justin Herbert looks good. J.K. Dobbins looks good. Again, granted, they played bad.
The coaching looks much better than what it was with Staley, and with that,
I
makes me
believe
scared to fold because Harbaugh's a legitimate freaking coach.
They don't have the talent to keep up, though. That's the thing. Defense, they're old. They're washed. Not that washed, but they're old.
But
offense, they're throwing to Quentin Johnson and Ladd McConkey.
Hey, Quinn Johnston had a great game.
He played the Panthers.
He had a great game.
He played the Panthers. He played the Panthers. He played the Panthers. He played the Panthers. Moving on. NFC.
New York Giants. I think we're both folding.
Yeah, we can skip that.
We can skip that one. Minnesota Vikings.
Ooh, this is a hard one. Because if Sam Darnold can keep playing the way he has, then I'm holding. Because I think they could be a wild card team.
We don't know. That's the fun of this segment, ladies and gentlemen. We don't know.
It's because they have. Well, actually, both Addison and Jefferson are out for at least.
Jefferson, I think, is coming back next week.
Okay, perfect.
And Addison, currently on my fantasy team, is projected points.
I have both of them.
Oh, let's look at that.
I need them.
You know.
Well, if they're both playing, I give them a chance. But if they miss significant time, I'm going to fold because they're probably going to lose some games coming up.
I'm folding the Vikings just because I think I don't have enough information, and from what I can go off just from preseason and who's the other team they beat? They beat the Giants. I'm gonna fold because I just don't know, and if I'm wrong, I take it. That's it. I'm folding because of the other teams in the NFC, and especially their division, which is probably the toughest division in the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fold.
All right. Well, we might be moving on to the actual toughest division in the
South?
NFC, the NFC South.
Well, they have the Panthers, which we're both folding.
Okay, yeah. So
let's get out of the way.
Yeah, they suck.
The Saints.
I'm holding.
I'm folding.
I'm folding. I like what I've been seeing.
I love what I'm seeing.
New OC. I
can't say that.
I've always thought Derek Carr had this in him, and I thought going to the Saints last year we were going to see this last year. And I'm glad we're seeing it this year because I thought this is what he was capable of. I'm holding. They look really good. Granted, first game was against the Panthers.
It shouldn't count then.
It really shouldn't
not count.
But they beat the shit out of the Cowboys.
They beat the shit out of the Cowboys and the Panthers.
And any team that does that, you get a hold from me. You're folding them? All right. We can go to the Buccaneers then.
I think we can both hold them.
I'm going to also hold them.
We know, for anyone that watches this, or maybe is new, you know if you watch this, but this man is a Baker Mayfield savior. This man is a Buccaneers savior.
Enthusiast.
This man that's their bandwagon team.
Muse.
Baker
Mayfield Muse.
That is your bandwagon team. Yeah, he likes the Bucs, and he's gonna hold them. I'm gonna hold them because I like the coaching. I like the experience of the coaching. I like the defense, particularly.
I like the culture. Let's Tampa bake,
and
baby.
Baker is having fun. So
Tampa bake, baby. All right, NFC West. Let's wrap it up.
Seattle.
Seahawks. I'm sorry. I'm selling. I'm folding.
Wow.
I'm folding.
Who have they played? That's the thing.
They barely beat the
Broncos
Patriots
and
in
Patriots.
Overtime. Yeah.
Oh. I was gonna fold them too.
I'm done with. I'm not sold on Geno Smith anymore. I think it's time for him to go.
I'm gonna fold them as well.
He had a good game. I'll give him that.
I think they finished 7 or 8-9 probably.
But looking at the Cardinals, who are on the come up, and 49ers are probably going to win
the Cardinals.
division.
I think it's just the Niners. I think are still going to play their shoes out, and it's just the rest of the divisions, which would have the Bears, the Packers, the Lions, the Vikings in one division.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Cardinals up there by the end of the year.
You definitely could.
Yeah, but I'm folding the Seahawks.
I'm going to fold them too.
They're
the
gonna
Rams.
Is Cooper Kupp injured?
Yes,
I forget.
I'm folding because both Kupp and Nakua are injured.
Yeah, I'd have to fold.
So I think we can agree with that.
Yeah,
season's not looking great.
Yeah,
even though they were supposed to contend, it's not looking great.
Yeah, no, I'd probably hang it up if I'm the Rams.
They have the second worst point differential.
Aren't they
behind the Carolina Panthers?
Yeah, because I saw people looking. They should
at least
probably,
in the NFC.
They should start exploring
and they do
blowing everything up.
The Rams.
Yeah.
That could be a possibility.
Stafford's old, Kupp's old, Donald just retired. It might be time to get rid of everyone else.
It's crazy to say because I told them week 1 they were coming as playoff contenders. So
you did. But
I didn't say they were going to make playoffs, but when they played the Lions and they lost, I was like, "Oh, this is a playoff contending team." Okay. So,
well, let's wrap this episode up.
Wow, hold or fold, ladies and gentlemen.
Our Thursday night matchup tomorrow night. New England at the Jets.
I think this is the game Aaron Rodgers
goes crazy.
I
think it is as well.
The Patriots defense looks so good too. But
I think no.
What do you mean?
And they've been good. They've been
good. They won at Cincinnati. They made Burrow look horrible.
That was true.
And they did some things against the Seahawks, which good, but they've got a major injury. And I think the defense is not going to just play in New York.
This is going to be the best offense they see.
Oh, and the Jets home opener too. Yeah. So, because the Jets played away.
It was fun knowing you, New England.
At the Niners, right? So, it's fun, New England. I'm picking the Jets. I also picked the Jets to cover. They are, I think, -6.
Yeah, they are.
I'm taking the Jets to cover.
Yeah, might as well take the over too.
The over 38.5. Yeah, honestly, might as well take the over.
Jets score 35 by themselves.
That is true. Shout out the Atlanta Falcons, by the way. Just wanted to say that. So, love you, Jesse Bates. You've done nothing wrong in my heart, ever.
Okay, well, what did he do? Nothing.
In the game?
Yeah. He made a meaningless interception.
Oh, a meaningless interception. And he broke up the meaningless touchdown on Devontae Smith.
Oh, I did forget about that. I thought that was Simmons.
No, that was Bates.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, that is your fault. Whoopsies.
I don't know your old-ass safeties like that.
Yeah, would the best safety league or the best tandem in the league?
Is there like a PPF stat for that?
Oh, if there's a thing, there's a PPF stat, some stupid PPF grade for it.
We'll revisit this next episode.
Well, I'll actually try to find it. So, any other comments
care.
you want to make?
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care.
Anything else you want to say?
No. Can't think of anything.
Pray for Tua. That'll be it for Nothing Agreed. Thank you for listening. Hold this podcast. Do not fold it. Give us good reviews if you can.
Like and subscribe.
And
I feel like we never say that.
We don't. But in this corner right here, same thing for YouTube, Spotify, and Instagram. All at Nothing Agreed. Thank you all for listening, and peace.